Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? I hope you all are doing well. My name is Simon Preston, and welcome to Reggae Boys Commentary. This is the channel where we come together to discuss everything in relation to Jamaican football. This is your hub for everything Jamaican football related. So, I know Saturday was disappointing from a Jamaican football perspective. And why do we say all of this? Well, we saw the results. The under-17 team losing to Guatemala, and of course seeing the Reggae Girls suffer a late dagger to the heart as they fell 3-2 to the Czech Republic. Really disappointing. But there are some encouraging signs that we can take from it. Very encouraging signs. Where do we start with the boys are concerned? Well, there are some gems from that team in particular that have the potential to press forward in a sense of playing within the eventually being under 20s and even senior Reggae boys. Malachi Molina is going to be an MLS player soon. There's absolutely no doubt about that at all. Joshua Grant is going to be a goalkeeper in the United States, play professionally quite soon. Lynch is going to be a linchpin amongst goalkeepers in the island in the near future. I hear Dixon could be an individual that is part of the national setup post 2026. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Reed Jr., what a gem. What of a gem of a football player he is. He can operate in midfield, defense, centre half, left back. And then you go a little bit higher up the pitch and Jamani Bell, the gem of the under-17 team. An absolute gem. 15 years of age. And of course, the finisher himself, Ashton Gordon. And trust me, there are others. Orion Watson, Jordan Mangatal, Adrian Mahoney, Ronaldo Barrett. There are other pieces to this puzzle that can grow. Brandon Bent, Ishambol Barrett, Alex Xavier Gooden. Quality players. And we wish them all the best on the next chapter. And for the Reggae Girls, we got to see youth on store. Jody Brown on the score sheet, Cameron Simmons on the score sheet, a 20-year-old and a 19-year-old getting on the score sheet, Soleil Washington, a teenager, Peyton McNamara holding her own in midfield. You know what I'm saying? Victoria Williams at the back. So encouraging signs, very encouraging signs to look forward to. So now, folks, let's get into this video in particular. And I know you're looking at the title of this video and you're quite intrigued of what is to come. Understandably so. Fully understand. It is an imperative one. Extremely imperative one. So why do I say all of that? Because this in particular, some persons are unclear about and some persons are clear. So for those individuals that are not clear about what the future lies ahead, especially the next 12, 16 to 18 months, we're going to discuss that right now. All right. And I know you guys are in the comments. This video in particular is pre-recorded so that you guys can reflect upon it. And of course, at a later date, I will answer the questions that you guys have. All right. So first thing first, let's get right into the matter. All right. Can 8 teams from CONCACAF be at the 2026 FIFA World Cup? Well, folks, before we get into answering that question in particular, let's get some background on the tournament itself, shall we? Yeah, let's get some background itself. So we know USA, Canada, Mexico, the host nations for the 2026 World Cup. It will be a June and July tournament. It will be 48 teams. And for the first time in World Cup history, all 6 confederations will have at least one representative, as Oceania now have one World Cup place, one spot. A 48-team World Cup, the 23rd edition of the World Cup, the 96-year anniversary of the tournament itself. Now, as it relates to the group stages, that is still something that is being spoken about, but I will go a little bit further in depth when more information comes to fruition. But it could be a situation where to get to the final, you you basically play 8. Your 8th game would be the final instead of 7. But we'll get more information on that quite shortly. Now, let's talk in particular in relation to the slots. I know the slot allocation to you guys are very, 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 very important. So let's get right into the matter, shall we? It was confirmed earlier this week, officially by FIFA, that the United States, Mexico, and Canada have automatically qualified for the World Cup. So what does that mean? Because these 3 teams are part of the region. Does that mean those 3 spots are taken away? Or does that mean that it is going to be a supplement? Well, let me explain. These are the slot allocation, folks. This is the slot allocation. So for CONCACAF, as you're aware, you see something called 2/3, and I'm coming to that quite shortly, and the meaning for that in particular. But it's a 48-team World Cup, 48 teams, and for the first time, like I said, Oceania get 1 spot. CONCACAF had 3.5 spots for 2022, and now we have a new slot allocation. So there we go. All right. And what about the playoffs? Well, as it relates to the playoffs, the playoff tournaments, the intercontinental playoffs will have 6 teams. And those 6 teams will help to decide 2. So you'll have basically team 1 versus team 2, and winner of team 1 versus team 2 plays team 3. And team 4 plays team 5, and the winner of team 4 versus team 5 plays team 6. And basically the winner of whoever plays team 3 and 6 respectively would qualify for the World Cup. But before we get into all of that, folks, let's look at this. USA, Canada, and Mexico. You guys have your pen and papers? All right, let's do some math. All right. All right. So on the screen, spots in 2026. So CONCACAF, for this new 48th edition of the World Cup, have 6 2/3 spots. All right, 6 2/3. Write that on a piece of paper right now. 6 2/3. That is the new slot allocation for CONCACAF for the 48-team World Cups moving forward. However, the hosts of the 2026 World Cup are from CONCACAF, and all 3 hosts get automatic qualification, and that is USA, Canada, and Mexico. So what is 6 minus 3? 3. Right. 6 minus 3 is 3. So that means that you have 3 2/3 left. 3 2/3 left. CONCACAF has the 2nd biggest percentage of slot allocation jump, 90.4%. 90.4% jump in slots. The only slot bigger is Oceania. So CONCACAF getting an increase by 90.4%. Africa, 86.7%. AFC, 85.2%. CONMEBOL, a 40% increase. Because as we know, they had 4 spots and the 5th team goes to the playoffs, but now CONCACAF. Yeah, that's right, CONCACAF have 6 spots just like CONMEBOL. Can you imagine that? CONCACAF has the same number of slots as CONMEBOL. Very, very compelling. So let me explain the 1/3 and 2/3 and the 1/3 now, okay? So you'll see AFC, which is the Asian Football Confederation, they will have 1 team in the playoffs, intercontinental playoffs. Africa, they'll have 1 team in the playoffs as well. CONMEBOL, they'll have 1 team in the playoffs, and Oceania will also have 1 team in the playoffs as well. So what does that mean, folks? 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, that's 4. And CONCACAF, you see 2/3. So what does that mean? 4 + 2 is 6. And remember, I said earlier that in the playoffs, you will have 6 teams. That's right, 6 teams within the playoffs itself. So 2 of the 6 teams will be CONCACAF teams, and those playoffs itself will take place within USA, Canada, Mexico. That's where it will be played. Okay? So the playoffs itself will take place within the CONCACAF region. Now, how will the seedings go? Well, 2 of the teams will be seeded based on their world ranking, and these teams will play off for the 2 World Cup berths against the winner of the 2 knockout games between the 4 unseeded teams. The 4-game tournament is and will be played in 1 or more of the host countries, and will also be used as a test event for the FIFA World Cup. As you guys know, this is what is happening on the women's side of things as well. Currently in New Zealand, you have the intercontinental playoffs for the Women's World Cup, where you had Haiti taking on Senegal. You also had Cameroon taking on Thailand. You also had Paraguay taking on Chinese Taipei. And you also had Panama taking on Papua New Guinea. And by Wednesday, Jamaica will know their opponent from the intercontinental playoffs for the World Cup. So, going back to CONCACAF now. USA, Canada, Mexico. Those are the teams that's right, are automatic. So what is left for CONCACAF? 3 automatic spots and 2 teams head to the intercontinental playoffs. So if the qualification format maintains itself with having the 18, the octagon, it would mean that the teams that finish 4th and 5th will qualify for the intercontinental playoffs. So the teams that finishes 4th and 5th would head to the intercontinental playoffs. All right, folks? Let's do that one more time so that you're on the same page. All right? The top 3 teams from CONCACAF will qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We got that sorted? All right. And the teams that finishes 4th and 5th will head to the intercontinental playoffs. So what does that mean, folks? Not only will you have 6 teams from CONCACAF at the next World Cup, but you also have the possibility of 2 more. 6 plus 2 is 8. You could have 8 CONCACAF teams at the next World Cup, something that has never, ever happened before. Ever. CONCACAF is expected to release the format for World Cup qualifying sometime later this year. We await to see if it will be a format of octagonal or hexagon. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, for sure, we know for a fact it is the top 3 that will qualify for the World Cup, and the team that finishes 4th and 5th will head to the intercontinental playoffs. All right? Let's do some more writing, shall we? Because USA, Canada, Mexico, that right there is North America. So for the World Cup, we are looking at Central America versus the Caribbean. That's essentially what it is, folks. Central America against the Caribbean. And why is that the case? Well, quite simple, folks, because USA, Canada, Mexico, they're 3 North American teams and they're automatic. So the teams left in CONCACAF that will compete in World Cup qualifying are the teams that are in Central America and also the Caribbean. That's where we are now, folks. That's exactly where we are. North American zone, as you can see on your screen, Canada, Mexico, the United States. Let's look at Central America now. Let's take out our pen and make some notes. The Central American teams are Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala. Yep, they'll be back competing. Honduras, Nicaragua, Panama. So right there you have 7, right? 7 Central American teams. You follow me? 7 Central American teams. Good. Let's now go to the Caribbean. Are you guys ready? Good. Here we go. Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Aruba, Bahamas, Barbados, Bermuda. You guys follow me, right? Bonaire. Yep, Bonaire has joined the fold. They became a CONCACAF member officially in 2014. What does that mean now, folks? Well, they can now play, and we saw them in the Nations League, remember? Jamaica took on Bonaire in the Nations League. Jamaica won 6-0. You guys remember that? Yeah. I'm sure you guys remember that. Quite a compelling game that was. That's right. So, Bonaire in the mix. However, here's the challenge. Bonaire, folks, is not a FIFA member. They are a CONCACAF member, but they're not a FIFA member. So, Bonaire, not in World Cup qualifying, all right? So that's 6 Caribbean teams so far. So make note about that, all right? Because I can show you guys. All right? Bonaire is not a member of FIFA. And that means that they can't take part in World Cup qualifying. They can compete at a Gold Cup, a Caribbean Cup, if that ever is to come back, but they can't compete in World Cup qualifying. They're not a FIFA member. And it's very, very embryonic, you know, when you look at things. They don't even have a ranking. Well, of course, you can't have a FIFA ranking if you're not a FIFA member. And I'm just showing you to give perspective of things, all right? Anguilla has a FIFA ranking, but not Bonaire. Good. All right. Not a FIFA member. So far, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. 6 Caribbean teams. British Virgin Islands, 7. Cayman Islands, 8. Cuba, 9. Curacao, 10. Dominica, 11. Dominican Republic, 12. French Guiana is a department of France. French Guiana is a department of France, which means that they are part of France. And they're not a FIFA member, but they are a CONCACAF member. French Guiana will not take part in World Cup qualifying. The only way that French Guiana, Martinique, Guadeloupe can ever take part in World Cup qualifying, quite simply, folks, it's like this. They would need to get their independence from France. And the chances of that happening are 0. So that's where we are. Grenada, 13. Guadeloupe, I just said what I had to say about them. Guyana, 14. Haiti, 15. Jamaica, 16. Montserrat, 17. Yep, Montserrat, although that they are a British overseas territory, they can still compete in World Cup qualifying. I know it's different when it comes to the British overseas territory versus the French overseas departments. I know, very, very different. Very, very different. Yeah, but Montserrat can qualify for a World Cup. So that's where we are. So I said Montserrat, 17, right? Good. Puerto Rico, 18. Yep. It's a U.S. overseas territory, but it's fine. They are a member of FIFA. St. Kitts and Nevis, 19. St. Lucia, 20. St. Martin, not a FIFA member. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 21. St. Martin, not a FIFA member. Suriname, 22. Trinidad and Tobago, 23. Turks and Caicos Islands, 24. The US Virgin Islands, 25. All right, folks. So right there, you'll have 25 Caribbean teams, right? 25 Caribbean teams that will take part in World Cup qualifying. And you'll have 7 teams from, that's right, Central America. 25 plus 7 equals 32. So right there, that tells you will have 32 teams from CONCACAF that takes part in World Cup qualifying. So what's going to be done first is a seeding. A seeding where you'll have the lowest teams within CONCACAF playing against each other in the preliminary round. So the lowest seeded teams, lowest 16 seeded teams. So Anguilla, British Virgin Islands, US Virgin Islands, Turks and Caicos Islands, Bahamas, Aruba, Cayman Islands, Dominica, Montserrat, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Belize, Grenada, St. Lucia, Guyana, Puerto Rico, Bermuda. The lowest 16 ranked teams will go into the preliminaries, right? And then after that, we'll be down to 8. And those 8 teams joins 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 8 and 16 is 24. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a second preliminary round, a second round, where you sandwich the teams a little bit more. And after that, you'll be down to the final 6 or final 8. And from there, we will have the final round of qualifying. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, the final 8 that I have in the octagon, I'll give you what I have in terms of those teams. And then I'll give you the 3 that I have. So Costa Rica is in the octagon for me. So is El Salvador. So is Honduras. So is Panama. So is Guatemala. That's 5 Central American teams that I expect to be part of the octagon. From the Caribbean, I have Jamaica. I have Suriname. And I have Curacao. And with all of that being said, the top 3 that I have qualifying: Costa Rica, Panama, and Jamaica. The intercontinental playoff berths go to Curacao and one of Honduras or Suriname. This is a big chance, as we all know, everyone. And, you know, the situation, folks, is like this, yeah? Everybody's doing their homework. Everybody's doing their homework. The Curaçaoan team, the Surinamese team, they're getting their passports for players. Montserrat is also doing the same as well. Might not be for League 1 or League 2 players, but they're also expanding their pool as well. Puerto Rico are looking at their USL and Major League Soccer players as well. Trinidad and Tobago are also doing their extensive scouting within League 1 and League 2 as well. Barbados have sent representatives to the Midlands of England, Birmingham, Aston Villa, Walsall, Coventry, West Bromwich Albion, Birmingham City, to have a look at what's available there with the Bayesian diaspora. So everybody's doing their homework. This is a big chance, but it should not be taken lightly, and I know that it won't. It might seem like there's a lot of time, but there is not a lot of time. We have to get a team ready in a year. In 12 months, we have to get a team ready. Get all the pieces to the puzzle, because the qualifiers will start next year. It will start next year, so we can't afford to waste any time. This is imperative, and we can't brush this aside. But aren't you excited about what lies ahead in 2026? In our own backyard. In our own backyard. Just put this into perspective, folks. Just look at this. Look at the venues. Boston, Miami, New York, New Jersey, Philly, Toronto. Those are Jamaican hubs right there. Atlanta, Dallas, Houston, also areas of Jamaican populations as well. LA, Jamaicans there as well. Vancouver, Seattle. You also have Jamaicans there as well. Not as much, but you do have them as well. By qualifying, you have the support that the 12th man will be there. And just imagine what it would mean seeing that sea of black, green, and gold across the Red Bull Arena in Harrison, New Jersey, to see the sea of red at the BMO Field in Toronto, to see the sea of black, green, and gold at the BC Place in Vancouver. All of this, they're exciting. I hope you guys are looking forward to what lies ahead. More information to come, more details to come. I hope you all are very happy with this information. So to answer the question, yes, we could have 6 to 8 CONCACAF teams at the next World Cup. How does that make you feel, everybody? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's hear what you have to say. And don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Reggae Boys Commentary for more content. All right, folks. Speak soon. All right. Lots more to come.